I'm Megan.
And I'm Kira, and we're the voices behind Two People, One Question.
Our question today is, why do schools have rules?
And our bonus question today is, why do people make YouTube videos?
So today we're going to go over not just like why schools have rules, but like different types of rules and if they're like needed or not.
Yeah, and for each of the rules,
Yeah,
You
so
just
that's
said
basically that's what I just said.
Oh my god.
So anyway, we're going to go over mainly the rules that we find in the UK.
Yeah.
Because we don't live in America or any other country.
Yeah, so we're just talking about what we know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's move on to our first rule. What rule would you like to talk about?
I'd like to talk about school uniforms first. I think that's a very big topic. Yeah.
Yeah. So not every school has uniforms. I know it's a lot more common in the USA.
No, in the
USA for them to not have uniforms, but I feel like there are a few in the UK that don't have uniforms. I'm not completely sure about that.
Yeah.
So uniforms, I'd say they're normally used to help kind of to make sure that everyone's like kind of the same. Like there's no reason for them to be different.
Yeah, that help like people to be more equal and stuff. So I also think that having uniforms helps with like clickiness, if you guys know what I mean, like having like cliques and like groups in school, because then you very much express yourself through the way that you dress and like you express like your personality and your interests. So as I've seen from like movies and TV shows and YouTube videos and whatever, that America has much more of like a clique problem than the UK does, because in the UK we more have like our like friendship groups are very mixed. Like a lot of people will be part of multiple different friendship groups and they'll have friends from all different types of people. So I think that it kind of helps with that kind of thing, because it's just a bit more, it puts everyone on a level playing field, and you could tell people like, and you really have to get to know somebody to see what they're like.
Yeah, I also think with uniforms it's a lot about I'm pretty sure they've said this before in some schools, like in the mornings, to make sure you don't worry about what you have to wear and kind of focus on other things.
Yeah.
Because if you do wear normal clothes, I'd like expect people to like care. You should think that people care a lot about what you think. So having not having that worry in your mind might make it a bit easier.
Yeah.
To get ready and stuff and focus on other important things like studying that no one does.
Studying that nobody does. But yeah, so do you have anything else to say on the school uniform section?
I don't believe so.
You don't believe so? Okay, cool. So
next I want to go on to something else. Wait, actually, do you think that uniforms are needed?
Oh yeah, we're going to say our opinion for them. I think that uniforms, I think that you should have like some kind of uniform, but I feel like it should be a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
So for example, you could wear like, you can wear like leggings, but you still have to wear like your school shirt or something, or like more like in primary school, because we're more basing this on secondary school because that's where we are.
Yes.
And but like we'd have like a polo top with like our school like crest on it. So that's, I think, would be a bit better rather than having like the full like tie and like you have to wear like specific colours, but I do think that is better.
Yeah, I feel like it is needed as well to just keep that worry away. Mm-hmm. But then why don't we move on to, I think I'm going to go with more of an unusual one that I feel like is more of our school, and that is bottle flipping. That is a legitimate rule in our school. It's like you can't bottle flip. If you get caught doing it, then you will be given a detention.
Yeah.
See, now it's not as big a problem anymore because everyone's like moved on from that. But
it's not such a trend anymore.
Yeah, but I feel like it's because everyone went like crazy about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why the rule was in place.
A similar thing happened in my primary school. If you guys know what like match attack cards are, I don't know if you guys know what they are. They're basically like footballer cards, so that you have like a card for like a football player, and basically people would be trading them, people would get into fights because of them. And they'd just be this whole thing in my primary school. And then, so eventually my school had to completely ban it. And if you were seen with them, you were like made to like stay in at break time or whatever. Yeah.
It's kind of the same with our school and Loom bands and Beyblades.
Yeah. Oh my god, we banned Beyblades too. I don't know if you guys know what they are, but you like spin them and they go like round a little like arena thing.
Or you have this like rubber thing where you put it and it just goes crazy. But anyway, I feel like it's not needed,
Yeah.
especially not anymore, because like I had someone do it today in class and he got like, well, not in class but like outside, and he got in massive trouble with one of the teachers who saw him. But I feel like it's not needed anymore, so maybe they could relax it now.
Yeah, I think it's I think temporary rules are needed for things that are a problem at that time, but I do think schools should always be changing their rules and really trying to keep up with what the students believe. And that's why I think things like student council are really good, because you really get to see like the students, like what they think is a good thing and like to do with the school.
Yes.
So yeah,
It's your turn for a rule.
yeah, so I'm going to do a very common thing, but a bit of like a spin on it, but just no using your phones.
See, now this is mainly in our school, this is in classes, which I kind of see.
Yeah.
But that's in different circumstances. But in some schools, they ban it completely, where you can't even have them in school, which I feel like could end up being a bit of a problem.
Yeah, because you may need to talk to your parents or something, and they say like, oh, you should just ask the teacher to call your parents if it's an emergency. But really, sometimes you don't want to share certain things with your teachers, or you might have something that you need to organise your parents picking you up at a different time or from a different place. So I think that you should at least be able to use them between lessons.
Yes.
But in class, it's not really needed.
Yeah, but like I feel like sometimes if the class could be trusted, then you could have your phones for like music and different things.
Yeah, I definitely think that. And like, I think if you guys are just like doing like a worksheet or something, then I feel like it wouldn't be a bad thing to have like headphones, obviously, with like some music, because like, you know, it's just helps you relax and helps you focus more and stop you from getting as distracted from like the outside world.
Yes. Well, this rule is also kind of relaxed in different ways for stuff such as projects. Like last year, we had a project where you had to like record something and animate it over, and use some people had cameras that were issued by the school, but there are other people who are only using their voice, like us.
Yeah.
So we were allowed to take out our phones and record our voices.
Yeah. So I think our school has hit the nail on the head probably with this one, where we're not allowed to use it in class, but unless you're under like proper like circumstances where it would be okay. For example, like in art, if you needed to reference a picture, then you could do that on your phone.
Yeah, though I have been allowed to do that in art before.
Yeah, me too. So it's just like this kind of thing. But I do think using it in the corridors and like using it like in like at break and lunch is definitely like a good thing, because I don't think that it should be banned. I don't know if that's just my opinion, because I am a teenager and I do just like want to go on my phone. But I think there are legitimate reasons that you should be able to use your phones and have your phones in school.
Yeah, I also think it could be a legitimate problem if it wasn't allowed during break and lunch.
Yeah.
Because there might be some information coming in from your parents, but they don't want it to go straight to the school and then having them taking all the time to go to the actual class that the student is in, or where they are, trying to find them out throughout the whole school, because it might be something urgent that they need straight to them right away.
Yeah.
Which may not be completely fine during classes, because like they're not allowed on their phone. Mm-hmm. But during break and lunch, this is certainly a time that they should be able to see emergencies and things that they need.
Yeah, I definitely think that in a way to contact like your parents and stuff is, and also just for like purposes of sharing things on your phone with others. For example, at break time the other day, we were laughing at something on Instagram, me and Megan together, and I think they don't want phones to be there because they think it stops you from talking to people, but sometimes something on a phone would be a conversation starter.
Yes.
And yeah.
So next on, we might as well move on to another rule. I can't remember too many of our rules, because like no one ever really breaks them. But one of them is chewing gum.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. See, now this is I feel like setting this rule has become has made it even more of a problem.
Yeah.
Because originally our school has placed this rule because people were disposing of it under desks. meaning that they couldn't do it. But now it's become secret. Everyone's like chewing gum now in class, and so because they can't just get up and throw it in the bin, it's become a problem because they're having to hide it under desks, which has made it.
It's the motive of making the rule was to stop people from putting it under desks, but literally making it a rule has made it more of a problem. Yeah, and I definitely think that people should be able to have chewing gum. Obviously, if they're just putting it in an incorrect way or in the wrong place, not putting it in the bin, then obviously that's not good.
I feel like they should be punished for that, not a whole rule, so it should be set in place.
Yeah, like saying like you specifically have been in trouble for putting your gum under the desk, rather than just everybody being in trouble for having gum. Because like, what if you eat something at break or lunch that gives you a weird taste in your mouth? Because for example, drinking tea in the morning, it leaves a weird taste. I don't know if you guys experience this, but like it tastes good when it's there, but 5 minutes afterwards it's not good. So often I'll have a piece of chewing gum before I walk into school, so like in the car on the way to school. But yeah, I just definitely think that it's an unnecessary rule.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next rule, if you have one.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with a very common rule. And you guys may think that it's weird that we're talking about this one, but this one is no talking during class or in like the corridors when you're walking around. Because in my primary school, we definitely had a rule that you weren't allowed to like talk in the corridors or be like loud in the corridors. But no talking in class. What do you think of this, Megan?
I feel like it's kind of okay because this is like, it's relaxed when people have to do like partner work, but it's just make sure that people don't talk over the teacher, because there are some legitimate things that you need to learn in different classes.
Yeah. So I definitely think that there is a justification to this rule, but also I think that your teacher should expect silence of you while somebody else is speaking, may it be themselves or another student. But I think teachers that ask for silence when, say, you're just working on, like when you're like doing a piece of work that isn't like a test, I think is a little bit unnecessary, because I think you should be able to talk to your partner if you have a question about it, and just stuff like that. And it's just like a little bit unnecessary to have it completely silent throughout the whole class. I think you should definitely be able to talk to your partner about something. Like for example, one time in year 7, my friend came into class late. She'd been a doctor's appointment, and this teacher had asked for silence before she walked into the classroom. She walked in, and then she asked me what we were doing in the lesson, and then she got a behaviour point, so she got told off for asking me about it. But I think that was just a bit unnecessary, because the teacher wasn't talking, we weren't doing anything like super important that we had to be silent for. So yeah, that's just what I think. I think it's yeah.
Yeah, I also think that it could be, I think that it could definitely be like set in certain places that are needed, but throughout the whole thing, I feel like it shouldn't. So, do you have anything else to add to that?
Not to the talking rule, but yeah, so I do think it's necessary at some points, but not all points.
Yes.
So, Megan, would you like to say another rule?
Well, we can say another rule, and I've only just thought of this one, but I'm running out of rules very quickly.
I just trying to like rack my brains, like, what are we not allowed to do at our school?
See, now this rule is in place, but like pretty much no one follows it. This is the rule about walking through the corridors. Now, in our school, you have this one main area where everyone goes, and you can go outside as well. But through the corridors, where like they saw their different classrooms, you're not supposed to go there during break and lunch.
Yeah.
And this is I feel like this could be a problem, because there are some times when people need to talk to teachers urgently.
Yeah.
And about like homework or stuff. But teachers always say to yeah, so this may be a problem, because at certain times people need to talk to their students about like emails or stuff. So stuff like homework.
Yeah.
But they might not be able to send emails at home because something like the internet's not working, so they can't talk about at home. And teachers sometimes say that if you couldn't do homework, then you should just email them. But sometimes this isn't an option.
Yeah.
So I feel very much that you should be able to walk through the corridors, and also you might have forgotten something in class.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I've done this multiple times, and so has Kira, and but we haven't been able to move through the corridors, but people do it anyway,
Yeah.
as we said before.
Yeah. So yeah, just trying to like kind of to reiterate what Megan said. I definitely think it should be allowed to walk through the corridors at break and lunch. Obviously, if you're being loud or you're running through the corridor, then obviously you shouldn't be going through them at break and lunch.
Yes.
But without like being annoying or loud towards like the teachers or whatever, then I definitely think it should be okay, because like again, going back to like the homework thing, it's a lot easier to understand something when you're talking with them one-on-one, and you can ask them your questions and they can give an instant response instead of waiting for an email. Because obviously, like if they try and give you some help with it and it doesn't quite work, then it's just, yeah, it doesn't work. And it's a lot easier to understand when you talk to someone one-on-one. Also, with the forgetting in class, I'm very partial to leaving my key kit or my coat in my previous class. So yeah, I definitely think that should be allowed.
So is there anything else, or would you like to move on from this subject?
I don't think I have anything else on this subject, but so the next rule that I'm going to say is I think it's unique to our school, but I don't know if you guys have it the same. Where in our school we have some of the corridors as one way, so you're only allowed to go one way, the same as like a one-way road.
Yeah.
So for us it is our science and DT corridor, and it's also our languages corridor,
Which was recently put, and it's completely terrible. Everyone at the end of the day, everyone's trying to rush out, and everyone gets stuck because people just don't move.
Yeah, it's very annoying. It's just, yeah.
Also, it's kind of annoying because in our language corridor, when you go out the outside way, which you have to go all the way around the school back towards the main entrance, and you can't go back to certain classes because sometimes people have classes right next to theirs, but they just can't take a few steps back because of the one-way system, which is very annoying.
Yeah, and it's very, very bad because in our school, what will happen is normally, if you're going in a corridor, it will split in the middle. Some people go out one door, some people go out the other door. That makes sense. But with the one-way corridor, they're all congested towards the end, and literally it's just awful. Everybody gets pushed around, and it's very annoying.
I've been hurt a lot of times because of the one-way system.
Yeah.
So I feel like it definitely shouldn't be something in place.
Yeah.
Because it can be dangerous, even though the teachers say that it's dangerous if it's two-way, because our corridors can sometimes be a bit slim. I feel like it's even more dangerous for the one-way system because everyone's trying to push past to their next class. So that's one of our rules. I think we should move on to our last one, which we're going to say, which is no photos or recordings allowed during school.
Yeah, so I actually have a friend who got told off for taking a picture of my friend. He was in a school uniform, but you couldn't see her tie or like the logo on her jumper, but she still got told off. So I understand this rule like sometimes, but I think if you're taking pictures of people without their permission, that is not good, or like recording them without their permission. But I do think that it should be like okay to like do at some point. For example, at our school, most schools probably don't have this, but we have these screens that are all around the main part of the school, and it basically just has pieces of information on and stuff like that. So if you need to take a photo of that information to remember, I think that should be allowed, and just like stuff like that when you're like
Yeah, so also the information on the screens only take a minute. Yeah, so the information's only there on there for a few seconds, and it's sometimes really important information, such as assembly session plays for different year groups instead of just like normal assemblies that happen every week. So I feel like that's very important because apparently an audit time there was an assembly for our year group, and it was on the screen, but seeing there are so many pieces of information on the screens already, no one saw it apart from a few people, so those people missed that assembly, which was very important to our year.
Yeah.
And it just, the only way of finding out about that information was through other people who didn't really know much about it anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely think that in some situations, obviously, it shouldn't be allowed, but I don't think it should be like a wide scope rule, similar to like the chewing gum one, where if you're disposing of it incorrectly, then you should be told off.
Yeah. Also, I want to say that taking pictures of someone without their permission is illegal anyway, unless under certain circumstances.
Yeah.
So I feel like that shouldn't be a rule if it's already like a major rule inside the big world.
Yeah. The big world.
The big world.
Yeah. So I think overall, pictures in school should just be allowed, but like you should be punished for doing it in the wrong circumstances. Same with anything in school. Like if you're doing something bad, then you should be punished for it. But it shouldn't be a rule for every single person, because they're not going to abuse the fact that they are allowed to do that thing.
Well, not anyone anyway.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so, do you?
I don't. So, should we move on to our bonus question for this week? And if you want to remind them is?
It is, why do people make YouTube videos? So, obviously this is a bonus question, so we haven't moved too much into it.
Yeah. But if you guys want us to make a full video about this, then definitely tell us in the comments and we will do that for you. We'll do lots of research about it. But, yeah. So, I've heard of this. I've watched a couple videos about this again on YouTube. So I do have some ideas about it, but I think we should start by saying why we make YouTube videos and how we came about to make them.
So when we make YouTube videos, it's purely for fun. Like we started, I just went up to Kira one day, just in the middle of maths, just like, hey, do you want to make a podcast with me? And she was like, sure. And we just kind of didn't elaborate on that any further. We just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, we should elaborate on this further because we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, and we spent that day kind of talking about stuff and saying what we would do. And eventually we came, I think it was on a Monday when we said it. So that day we recorded our very first podcast, which is called What is a Soul? And it was only 5 minutes long. And we were super nervous, but that's what we did. And we have been thinking of questions to say, and we're putting up videos for you guys weekly since.
Yep, so I feel like one of the reasons that people would do that is purely just for fun, because they want something more interesting in their life and trying to give something to the community.
Yeah, so before we started this, me and Megan went and got hot chocolate every week at the same cafe, and we just had hot chocolate together, but we really have nothing to talk about because we saw each other every day. We'd have a quick catch up, we'd just chit chat about things, and we just talk about normal stuff, but this really gave us something to do. And it was just made our lives a little bit more fun, made it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, so I feel like another reason would be for purely a job, which I don't think at the time would be the greatest idea. Maybe it could turn into a job because YouTube can be very unstable as a job sometimes because I'm sure you know about this, but there's been recent stuff in YouTube where revenue isn't going through to YouTubers and copyright claims are being made unjustified. There's no reason for them.
Yeah, and very much because YouTubers make money from how many views they get in a month, and a lot of other things go into that. For example, watch time and stuff like that. But mainly about how many views you get in a certain month. And basically, as a YouTuber, you could have one viral video and make £1 million in a month.
I don't think £1 million, but a lot of money in a month. But
I'm just saying, I'm exaggerating, but just you can make a lot of money 1 month and then get 0 views the next month, and nobody's watching your videos.
Yeah.
So it's definitely because trends change so much. The trends literally change weekly. So it's very much different every week, and it's just hard to think trying to get all the amount of views. Obviously, there are a lot of successful people on YouTube who do make a lot of money, but that's a really small amount like considering the amount of people that have YouTube channels, I think almost every person in our school probably has at least a YouTube account, even if they didn't make videos. And it's just like a lot of people have YouTube channels, but only a small percentage of them is successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, and it also takes a lot of time to build up to where you do end up getting money.
Yeah.
So it depends on how many views you get a video and then how many subscribers you have afterwards. So I feel like that would be a very long process to get to that point. So setting in your mind on a YouTuber without a job on the side, that would be very highly unadvised, because you can't really do that. You can't do it in like a day or a month. It takes a long time.
Yeah, so another thing I'm going to say is for people to have somebody to talk to when they're like going to do something. For example, a lot of people on YouTube are like parents or like teen parents, where they'll have somebody to talk to, because a lot of people in their life don't have anyone to talk to or don't feel comfortable talking to people. So they'll just talk to a camera in their bedrooms about everything, and then will upload it online. And basically it's just to have an audience and to have somebody to maybe to spread awareness of things, and just to have somebody to basically vent to and talk about your problems.
Anonymous people are a lot harder to talk to than people that you see in real life, because you don't think that they'll judge you as much. Because
You mean easier?
Easier, I don't know what I said, but
You said harder.
well, yeah, but it gives you someone to talk to, and you won't worry about them judging because you won't see them in real life.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like most of the time with people when they first start out, obviously they don't see their subscribers in day-to-day life. Obviously, very famous people will have subscribers like come see them, like stop them in their day-to-day lives, but most people don't. So it's a lot easier to talk to a camera and say nothing.
Yeah, so I feel like we should go into one more reason, because we're running out of time in this video.
Yeah.
But I want to say the reason of just for teaching purposes, because a lot of videos on a lot of YouTube is used in school to actually to give information to children during classes. A lot of the time when a video is put up on YouTube, when a video is put up in class from YouTube.
Yeah.
And it may be to make money, but it's also really advisable, because you can really easily it can really help people there.
Yeah, so like Megan said, a lot of the time we will put up videos during class and stuff like that, just to help us on a subject. And also, it may not even be for purposes used in school, but just to educate people on certain things, just in lives, maybe spreading awareness for things like illnesses and stuff like that. So,
do you have anything else to add to our video for today?
Well, I don't believe so. If you guys want us to make a full video on this, like we said, please leave us in the comments. And yeah.
Well, that concludes our podcast today.
Tell us your opinions on the subjects we've discussed today. And if you have any ideas for future questions or podcasts, please tell us in the comments.
And please follow us on our Twitter and Instagram accounts.
The links to both of those will be in the description box below.
We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
I'm Megan.